everybody, welcome to the newest episode of the Figures Flippy S podcast. I'm Susan, and this is my husband Chris, where we discuss our top 10 moments from the week of wrestling in AEW and WWE, and we also discuss the moments that we just did not like during the week. So, do you want to get started with our dislikes first? We'll do the negatives first, and we can get to the positives.
Yeah, I mean, to give you an idea what at least AEW and WWE are looking like right now, we originally made this format change with the idea of having 10 likes and 5 dislikes. And I don't think either one of us have had 5 dislikes except maybe once.
I typically have like 2 dislikes a week, but I don't know if I'm just not being nitpicky enough.
I don't know.
But yes.
I don't know. But I can start with mine if you want.
Yes. What's your? Because we both only have 2 this week.
So I have 2. One is story related and one is not.
I have 2 also, so we'll alternate.
So the one that I think is the worst is going to impact the story, so I'm going to save that for a second.
Okay.
So the first one I'm going to go over is this week, Dynamite is airing on Tuesday. They're doing Title Tuesday. And NXT will be up against Dynamite for the first time in I'm not sure how long it's been.
I mean, AEW's only been around for 4 years, so
yeah.
Well, I mean, remember
NXT was on Wednesday nights originally, and then AEW beat it like I think 87 out of 88 weeks or something.
Yeah.
So anyway, and NXT is admittedly very stacked. They've advertised John Cena. They've advertised Cody Rhodes. They've advertised Asuka. They did the Undertaker gong at the end of the NXT promo yesterday.
Yeah.
And the reason that this is a dislike for me is because I understand that wrestling's built on a carny business, but I feel like it's kind of shady that WWE is pimping out this super show for NXT that we know this isn't what NXT looks like on the regular.
Yeah.
On the regular, you may have 1 or 2 main roster people pop up. Like right now, you have Becky Lynch and Baron Corbin, and I think that's it. Mm-hmm. That's there regularly right now. Well, Dom.
Yeah.
We'll get to him in a minute. But I really feel like this is disingenuous by WWE, and I understand that it's to pop a number. I get that. And they're doing exactly what they need to do to pop a number.
Yeah.
To me, it's just a nitpick for me because I feel like it's disingenuous. Because, yes, AEW is putting on Title Tuesday and they're defending titles, but AEW's shown in the past that they'll do shows like this anyway just for shits and giggles.
Yeah.
Doesn't feel like they're also trying to pop a rating, sure. But I feel like WWE has gone nuclear with bringing in Cena and Taker and Cody Rhodes.
Is Undertaker going to be there, though? I mean, they did do his gong, so it would be false advertising if not.
Yeah, I mean, they popped it twice, and and honestly, that's not what I tune into NXT for. So as somebody that's a regular NXT viewer that wants to see the developmental talent, yes, it's cool that the main roster people are going to be there, but that's not why I tuned into NXT.
Yeah.
So while I understand it's there to pop a rating and bring in more casuals, I think you're setting up NXT for some potential backlash with casuals. If casuals are like, wait, NXT's not like this every week?
Yeah.
So it's a nitpick. I understand why it's being done the way it's done. That doesn't mean that it has to sit right with me.
Yeah.
And it kind of does. I literally labeled it here for my notes as WWE faking it with NXT.
Well, WWE isn't known for playing well with others anyway. So anytime they do something like this, it does kind of seem like we're just doing this to get more viewers than you type thing.
I know you pointed out too. I don't know if you were going to discuss this already, and if you were, I apologize. But you even said that you kind of felt weird that they were using a Cody Rhodes pop to squash something he helped create.
Yeah.
And that was something that didn't sit right with you.
Yeah.
So,
but
like I said, we understand the reasons. We're not stupid. We know why they're doing it, but it can still feel disingenuous.
Yeah.
And it does for me.
Yeah. I completely get that, yes.
Yeah. So that was number 2 for me, and that's going to be number 2 because, like I said, it's not affecting any story.
Well, my number 2 was Charlotte Flair getting involved in a women's title match on SmackDown.
Uh-huh.
I only wanted Asuka and Io. I thought that would be such a good feud, but then here comes Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair, you could have used her in something. She doesn't have to be in a title picture. You could have had her go out to help Asuka, and then she goes off and feuds with Bayley or Dakota Kai or somebody like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she doesn't have to be involved in the title picture all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Because I knew that Asuka and Io was going to be a good match. Charlotte Flair did just not happy at it at all.
Yeah.
But that was my number 2.
No, I get that. That was one of my dislikes last week.
Yeah.
Was Charlotte, and you know it's
nothing against Charlotte Flair. I can say that she's a good wrestler.
We've done this before with her. Remember when we all thought we were going to get Becky and Ronda one-on-one at Mania, and WWE was like, but it's a first. Charlotte has to be there. It's a first. Charlotte has to do it.
Yeah, and I get that Charlotte Flair's good. I do think that she's one of the better women's wrestlers. It's just, stop shoving her in my face. Like, make it more organic. Like, don't just make her show up because the title's around. Like,
I really get the feeling that WWE pimps out Charlotte and Roman, I'm going to include Roman in here, as prestigious for the wrong reasons.
I agree. Charlotte Flair, yeah, she has all these titles, but she never keeps her title for very long at all. And Roman Reigns, yes, he's had his title forever, but he never freaking shows up.
He's defended it once since Mania, and Mania was 6 months ago.
Yeah, so
one defense in 6 months. Fuck off.
Like, your numbers just aren't impressive to me if you're not doing anything to actually defend your title.
No, that's like they were like last night on SmackDown. They were like, Roman's run WWE for 1,195 days. And Jimmy Uso, of all people, was like, when are they going to come to work?
Yeah. He doesn't run things because he's never there.
Yeah.
That would be like me as a supervisor never coming to the office but just having like one staff call me over everything. I'm not actually running the show. That person that's calling me is actually running the show. So, but yes.
That's a good analogy.
Yes.
But to their credit, with Jimmy bringing it up and Rhea kind of taking charge last night, maybe this is factoring into story.
I would hope so because, yes.
But at the same time, I feel like if you're factoring into the story, it's just you acknowledging how absurd it is and trying to make an angle of it.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's what wrestling is sometimes.
Well, what was your number 1 dislike?
My number 1 dislike, I told you I'd talk about him in a little bit. It's Mr. Dominic Mysterio. And it's nothing that Dominic Mysterio has done. So, No Mercy over the weekend, which, as an aside, No Mercy and Wrestle Dream aren't in these lists because both events were damn good. They were both a lot of fun. Go watch them immediately. I liked them both equally.
They were really
especially,
good.
I would say my highlights from each one. For No Mercy, either one of the last 2 matches is aces. Lynch Stratton, Carmelo Hayes, and Ilya Dragunov. Both of those.
Lynch and Stratton are probably my top.
Both of those slap.
Yeah.
Wrestle Dream, of course, everybody knows by now, Adam Copeland, formerly known as Edge, is now in AEW. There were some good barnstormers on there. Danielson and Zack Sabre Jr. put on a technical masterpiece.
Of course.
Masterpiece.
Typically, anytime Brian Danielson steps into the ring is good.
Yeah. But those being aside, just to get that caveat out of the way, going back to my point, at NXT, No Mercy, Trick Williams beat Dominic Mysterio for the North American Championship, which was great. He was by himself. So it made sense for Trick to win. Fast forward to NXT. Well, first of all, let me go back. No Mercy had like an after main event tease where like Mello was like eyeballing Trick's championship and they were kind of talking. Mello had just lost his title to Dragunov. Trick Williams had just won his. So I was like, this is great. They're going to run a story where Mello's going to get jealous because Trick's going to have the title. This is going to be really good stuff. This is going to take Carmelo in a new direction. I like this.
Yeah.
We get to NXT. They announce that Dom and Trick are going to have a rematch. And I'm thinking, okay, Trick's probably going to win this because it would be pointless for the title to go back, especially when we're building something with Carmelo based off of what happened at the end of No Mercy. Mm-hmm. So we get later in the show, we get a segment with Trick where he says he doesn't want Mello to come out and help him, even though he knows that the Judgment Day is coming full force. Trick that was really stupid, especially in hindsight. So Carmelo Hayes leaves, runs into Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker's like, you know, I know how you feel. I'm the only one here that's had the NXT title and lost it. And I was like, great. I even told you, I said, this is the first time I felt like Braun's had purpose since he lost his title in NXT. This is great. He's going to be the devil on the shoulder of Carmelo Hayes. This is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
I was so excited. And then we get to the main event, and it's Trick Williams versus Dominic Mysterio. And Trick Williams just loses because the Judgment Day interacted, and it was 5-on-1 like they do every goddamn time.
Yeah.
Nothing fucking changed. The Carmelo story's blown up in smoke because now he has nothing to be jealous of. So to me, this is actually, like, a lot of mine is usually like, oh, I don't dislike it, just didn't like it. No, I actively hate this because this blew up a couple potential cool directions we could have gone just to return back to the status quo, and by doing it the same way we always fucking do it. You complain about it with Roman, the same applies with the Judgment Day. 5-on-1 every goddamn time. There was no point in Trick winning at No Mercy, and building this up with Carmelo that could have been a really cool direction to go that gave Braun Breaker some purpose, and you've blown it all up in smoke to put the title back on Dom and to just run Judgment Day versus Bloodline at full force. And I fucking hate it. Bad form, Sean. Bad form.
Well, my number one was also that, but I'm not as angry about it. I just didn't understand why it happened. But that was really it. Trick Youth losing his title. Mm-hmm. But I'm not angry about it. I just didn't understand it.
I'm angry because I was ready for Carmelo to go in a different direction. It looked like we were going there. I was waiting for Braun to serve a purpose, being in NXT still, instead of seeming like the guy that graduated high school but hung around anyway. I was hoping for more than that. I was starting to get more than that, and then they just ripped it away from me. That's why it pisses me off.
See, I try not to get too mad at wrestling storylines if they don't go my way. How I thought they were going to go. I try not to get too upset with it anymore.
This isn't like that. I wouldn't have cared. Let me put it this way.
You don't know what's going to happen, though. So, like...
Yeah, but everything that's happened with Carmelo since Trick lost that title was totally pointless.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you.
This isn't a case of the story didn't go the way I wanted to. This is a case of the story showed routes that it could go and then just scrapped all of it. Yeah. And we just went right back to where we were, the same way that we've done it, and the same way that we did the Bloodline shit.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I just really love Judgment Day, so I get annoyed because how they win things, but I just really like them still.
I don't feel like Dom needed the title for this. I think if you wanted Dom to have the title, Trick shouldn't have won it in the first place.
Yeah, I agree.
That's just how I look at it.
Well, do you want to get out of the negatives and focus on the positives?
Yeah, because
you got angry.
That one really peeves me. That's the first dislike I've had in a while that's story related. That's story related.
Oh, I was gonna say every week you get mad about something.
No, this is the first one that's story related in a while that just really pissed me off.
I could tell. I'm sure everybody can tell. But let's get in the positives, though.
Yeah, because there is a lot of positives.
Yes. So, do you want to start your top 10 list, or do you want me to start?
Sure, I'll start.
All right, what's your number 10?
Well, to preface this, a lot of my top 10 this week are story-related, not necessarily matches, but that's not to say that there weren't some great matches this week on TV. There was a Fatal 4-Way on Rampage for number one contender for the Ring of Honor World title. That match was great. Let's see, what else did we have here? There's one match that I'll go over. Ray Phoenix and Nick Jackson had a great international title match on AEW this week. WWE had some great matches as well this week. So just because the matches aren't listed doesn't mean there's no matches worth checking out this week. But my number 10 is Rampage gave us a vignette based on Halloween 3 to hype up the return of Danhausen. Yeah. I have missed Danhausen and his nonsense
it was very
so
fun.
much. Granted, a nitpick, I think he would have been a great surprise pop somewhere down the road, but at the same time, I do love that we're advertising him because that means that we can get people excited for him all over again.
Yes, because I think that was just to let people know, like, hey, he's coming back soon, because there's constantly, we miss you, Danhausen.
Yeah.
Like, where's Danhausen? People are still wearing his mask. Like, so it's still going to be a surprise when he pops up. We just know it's going to be soon.
Yeah. And I'm very interested
to see. And good for Danhausen for getting a video of like, hey, I'm coming back.
Yeah, and I love that it was like Halloween 3.
Very nice, very evil. Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun. That's very on brand for Danhausen.
It is, yes.
It's also very on brand for Danhausen to come back in October.
It is.
So I like that. I like the vignette. I'm excited that Danhausen's coming back. I'm excited to see what he does. I kind of hope he's still Danhausen, but I'd like to see him interact with some different people this run. Yeah. Not just go back to like Hook and Orange Cassidy, but like do some different shit.
But Hook and Orange Cassidy are together now, so that'd be perfect for Danhausen.
They could build a stable.
Slide right in there.
They could build a stable of just a bunch of weirdos and it'd be fine.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so Danhausen's coming back. That's exciting.
Yes. Well, my number 10 pick was from NXT, and it was Roxanne Perez versus Lyra Valkyria versus Indy Hartwell for Becky's NXT Women's title, like a chance to fight her for it.
At Halloween Havoc.
Yes, and it was a very good match. NXT just does such a good job of showcasing their women. Like, main roster in AEW should really take note on how they do this, but it was just so good. You have Kiana James. She interrupted the match. She pulled Roxanne, I believe it was Roxanne, from the ring, and she took her out. But then Becky, who was on commentary, did not like this, so she booted Kiana James. And then Lyra ends up winning, and so then she gets a chance to face Becky Lynch. But this was a good match. I like that it got to showcase women. And it was the NXT women, and it wasn't focused on Becky Lynch. It was focused on like the actual like women in NXT. So I liked that a lot.
Yeah.
It was a good one.
Yeah, it was. It was a good match, and it's going to be Becky and Lyra Valkyria,
which will be a good match.
Halloween Havoc. It will be good.
They're both two Irish lads, or they're not lads, women.
Lasses. Yeah. You think Valkyria turns heel? You think we tease it?
I don't know.
Or you think it's just two faces from the same place going at it for fun?
I just took it as that.
I think it will be too. They don't really have any. The only seeds that they laid that she would turn is that she was trying to impress Rhea Ripley, but she's already kind of beefed with Rhea Ripley, so I think we're done with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I get that. My number 9 this week was the stuff between Adam Cole and Roddy Strong. It's low for me this week for a reason. I have enjoyed everything that we've done with MJF, Adam Cole, and Roddy Strong. It's been a lot of fun. However, I'm starting to get the vibe that Adam Cole not picking up on how manipulatively abusive that Roddy Strong is being is kind of, and I know it sounds like I'm pushing up my nose at a wrestling story, but Adam Cole's just coming across as kind of an idiot to me right now. That he doesn't recognize it.
All faces are idiots in wrestling.
Yeah, but this dude does not clearly see what Roddy's doing and how the kingdom is like in the background, like stroking giraffes
and
watching.
He's trying to prove to his friend that he still appreciates him and values him.
I know, but to me, like for somebody that was so apprehensive about MJF at first to now be at this point where like Roddy Strong could essentially, you know,
okay, but back up,
stab a pen through Britt Baker's eye and just yells Adam, and it's all
back
good.
Up. Him and Roddy though, they told the story how they've been friends for forever. Mm-hmm. So there's a difference between MJF and Roddy Strong in Adam Cole's eyes.
There is, but I mean, I feel like it's a little too blatant. I would like a little more subtlety with it. The fact that it's kind of blatantly obvious kind of takes me out of the story.
I feel like you're being a little too nitpicky for wrestling. You were okay with Tony D'Angelo getting out of jail because the match was won, but you're sticking your nose up at this?
Listen, NXT's on its own planet because it just tries whatever the hell it wants.
I'm just saying, you were okay. That wasn't anything to put your nose up at, but this is.
Different strokes for different folks.
Obviously,
I'm still having fun with the story, but
yes.
I just feel like Adam's coming off a little too dumb to not pick up on what's going on.
I think you were just reading too much into that. It's a wrestling.
Maybe I am. Hey, it still made the top 10, so I don't know why you're giving me
I
shit.
don't know. It's just funny because I've seen you get so involved in things that are so much dumber than this. And this is just where the line is drawn. Well,
what's your number 9 then?
My number 9 is from Raw, and it's just Drew McIntyre right now in general.
Let me just point out that the Cole Strong thing could have gone on my dislikes. Let me just point that out.
Well, I just really like Drew McIntyre. I get that Drew McIntyre is becoming a heel, but that man has such good points. Why should he trust Jay? Jay was terrible. Why should he trust him? My philosophy is trust no one. Drew McIntyre is living in my life philosophy. So, like, I don't know. I love what Drew McIntyre is doing right now.
Drew McIntyre is kind of the bizarro Adam Cole right now. Like, if you think about it. Like, because he's not trusted anybody.
Yeah.
And anybody that's like, oh, Jay's trying to make it right. He's like, dude, I lost a title because of his ass. Like,
do you not know what he did in the past?
Yeah. Like, I feel like Drew is...
See, to me, all of Raw's faces are more ridiculous than Adam Cole is. Because it's like, Jay McIntyre.
Wow.
Jay Uso literally did shit to you guys. He literally did stuff to you. And you're just like, no, he's different now.
I mean, Owens is on that side, too.
Owens is always cranky.
Yeah, that's a valid point.
But... yeah, so that was my number 9. I can appreciate Drew McIntyre right now, and I usually found him boring. So, of course, he's turning more heel, and I'm finding him more interesting. I usually like heels more than faces, because faces are dumb.
With Braun Breaker.
Because faces are dumb.
Yeah.
So,
a lot of times they are.
Yes. Well, what's your number 8?
My number 8 is I am really digging timeless Toni Storm.
Me too.
She is completely unhinged.
Yes.
She's batshit insane.
She kind of reminds me of like the Hot Mess. I mean, I never watched Chelsea Green wrestle as a Hot Mess, but just like the makeup reminds me of that.
She's literally like that starlet out of the 20s that went fucking insane.
Like the pinup star.
Yeah, and I'm here for it. I'm here for the fact that she's delusional in her adulation. And
the way she like literally had the camera stop to zoom in on her as she did this like whatever it was she did
before she ran and did her
hip
attack,
photograph moment or something.
Yeah, her close up.
Her close
what they
up.
call it.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm really digging what Toni Storm's doing. I feel like Toni Storm is definitely taking the old approach with let's call it what it is. She's taking the chicken shit booking of AEW women and making chicken salad with it.
Listen, we need to give some props to RJ City though, because he is the one. He was talking to her and she was getting out of, she like that old timey like starlet meltdown that you would see. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you get it. And RJ City was just like, you're not even old. You're timeless. And then she was like, she starts screaming timeless, and then she was good. So like, let's not forget his part in this.
And I love her presentation that she comes out and it's black and white. Like they really put a lot into this Toni Storm character.
They did.
And I wish they would put half as much effort in the rest of the women's division as they've done with the Toni Storm stuff. Because if they did, AEW's women's division could be a completely different conversation. Yeah. Because this Toni Storm stuff, this is it. This is a good direction.
It is.
This is good. And Toni Storm's knocking it out of the park.
She is.
And
for
it's
sure.
It's fantastic. And I think I told you, I think she got into some of Juice's stash.
Maybe, yes.
But no, I'm really enjoying it.
Yes. Well, my number 8 was, the Gunther and Ciampa match. It was excellent. It was a really good match. But the thing I really liked that put it in the top 10 was the fact that Gargano finally returned. Him and Ciampa reunited. I believe it was Michael Cole made a mention about DIY returning, which was their tag team, and they were excellent together. So I was very excited about potentially them, starting together in their DIY-ness, which is so good together.
Yeah.
So I was very pumped for that. So that was my number 8.
I'm not saying much because I have more to say on this later.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's your number 7?
My number 7, I mentioned it happened at Wrestle Dream. It was Bryan Danielson versus Zack Sabre Jr. And Bryan Danielson won with the Psycho Knee. I love the name of that move, by the way. I don't know why. It's just funny. I just imagine somebody asking Danielson, what do you call it? That's the Psycho Knee. Anyway, they did a promo on, I believe it was Rampage, where it was Danielson and Zack Sabre Jr. talking about after the match and how they felt like nothing was settled because Danielson won with a strike. And I'm enjoying that we're going to run this back. I had a lot of fun watching this match. Even you, who are not the biggest technical match fan, you were glued to that match.
Like Bryan Danielson, though, a lot. I think we talked about it last week where, I don't like that style of wrestling, but I really like him.
Yeah. So I'm just excited that we're going to run this back. I think we're going to run it back in Japan.
That's what he wants. That's what Danielson wants.
Yeah. I think this might be a Tokyo Dome match, but I'm really excited. Those two tore it up the first time. I saw actually this morning Meltzer gave that match 5.5 stars.
Oh man, that was a good match.
But yeah, I say fuck it, let's do it again. Let's run it 2 more times. Let's have Zack Sabre Jr. take the second one and do a rubber match. I'm here for it. Actually, give me Zack Sabre Jr. winning the second match, and then give me 2 out of 3 falls with these two to finish up the feud.
Oh man, there you go.
Put that in my bones. Put that in my bones. So I am very excited about that. I'm excited to see where that goes.
Yes, that was good. Well, my number 7 for my favorite of the week is about Rhea Ripley. So I know you are very annoyed with the Judgment Day, but Rhea Ripley right now is just badass. Like so on Raw, it was kind of like I don't know, kind of like hinted at that she's one that runs Judgment Day, basically. So like on Raw, they were like all of Judgment Day minus Finn Balor were in the ring, and she was basically like giving them heck because they didn't do what they were supposed to do whenever she was gone. Dom lost his title. Damian Priest didn't help out like he was supposed to. Like, it was a big mess. But then on SmackDown, she also was talking about how, like, she was talking to Jimmy Uso, and he was just talking about how, like, typical Roman Reigns need to, or was it her? Was it Jimmy or Paul Heyman? It was Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman. And she was Paul Heyman was talking about how, like, Roman Reigns has to approve things, and that Rhea was just kind of like, acknowledge me. And I loved it, just the way she said it, and, like, she went up against the Roman Reigns in WWE. So, like, I really like how, I wish that Rhea would wrestle more, but I really like how intimidating they're making Rhea Ripley be to, like, everyone. Because even Solo has acted like he's scared of Rhea Ripley. I just really like that. So that was my number 7.
Okay. Yeah, that was. So I'll talk about that a little bit later. Because I'm annoyed, but I'm not that annoyed. I'm going to put on hypocrite hat here in a little bit.
Oh, gosh.
So number 6, my number 6 was the Ciampa Gunther stuff that you had alluded to.
Yeah.
Ciampa Gunther had an excellent match on Raw.
Yes.
It was supposed to be next week. I don't know why they moved it to this week, but it was fine because it was the tits. Ciampa, I think. Ciampa, I think, could wrestle anybody. Gunther could too, and Gunther's just killing it now. I love the fact that he not only is he winning all these Intercontinental title matches, but he's winning them clean.
Yeah.
And he's a heel. He's got his boys,
but his boys aren't getting the job done.
Yeah, and so he doesn't have them near the ring, and he gets the job done by himself.
Yeah.
And I love that Gunther always wins, but he never looks unbeatable.
Yeah.
He always looks like if you could just push that extra little bit, you could beat him.
Yeah.
And I think it's done wonders for him. I think it's done wonders for that title. I've said it on this podcast before. I know Roman's got his 1,000 days some reign. Gunther's running circles around Roman Reigns with with how he's doing his title.
He is.
Circles around the man.
Yeah.
And I like that Gargano's back, that we're going to do a DIY angle.
Yes.
I just really like Gunther's Intercontinental title run right now.
Yeah.
And I hope we're building up to another multi-man because he's got enemies with Chad Gable still. Now he's got Ciampa. Now he's got Gargano. And Ciampa and Gargano are probably going to tag, and that's fine. But I would love to see like a 4-way or a 5-way or a 6-pack challenge even of Gunther in the ring with like 4 or 5 other dudes. I know Gunther doesn't like that style. He said that he prefers one-on-one and triple threats even pushing it.
Yeah.
But I would just love to see what he would do in a match like that, just taking all comers. And I think, honestly, on one hand, that would be a great way to have him drop the title without hurting him. But at the same time, I feel like that would be a very anticlimactic ending for a title reign like this. Weird. So I'm very torn. I want the multi-man. But I don't want that talent buried by him beating them, but I don't want his reign to come at an anticlimactic end. Yeah, so that's my number 6. I love the Gunther Intercontinental title reign, and I'm not ready to get off this ride yet. I could ride this out. I could ride this one out till probably WrestleMania.
I agree. I'm not getting tired of Gunther at all.
No, no, because his matches always delivers, and the only thing really he had to do to run circles around Roman Reigns. he shows up every fucking week.
Right? Wrestle and you got it.
He doesn't always wrestle, but he's always there and he's always making a presence.
Yes.
Like, I will go out right now and say, Rhea Ripley is a great champion. Roman Reigns is a great champion. Rollins is a great champion. Gunther's the best champion WWE has right now.
Now, come on. Rollins is putting on good matches with Shin. They're doing great shit together. Let's not harp on my man Seth Rollins.
I'm not harping on Rollins. I'm just saying Gunther's a better champ.
That's fighting words.
Gunther's a better champ. I said it.
Oh, man.
I said it.
I can't disagree with you in this situation because I do feel like Gunther's been doing a better job. Mm-hmm. Like, his stuff's just been more interesting, but I love Seth Rollins.
Oh, don't get me wrong.
Seth Rollins.
Don't get me wrong. Rollins is a great champ. Like, I'm not trying to take anything away from Rollins. I just put Gunther a little bit higher.
Mm. He has a broken back, don't you know?
We'll talk about Rollins. Don't you worry about Rollins. We'll talk about him.
Well, what was my number 6? So my number 6, we already talked about it, but it's Toni Storm. I include RJ City because I love me some RJ City. So I am so off topic, but I'm so excited that on the next Jericho cruise, RJ City is going to be there. That's like the best announcement so far for me. But back to my pick though.
CJ Perry's a pretty good announcement too.
That is a fun one.
I'm hoping that yields Miro.
Even if I just get CJ Perry, I'm okay with that because like she knows the Garcia twins. Previously known as Bella twins. So if I can just be in the same proximity as her, I'm by contact getting close to the Bellas.
You sound like a creep.
Anyway, back to my pick though.
Yeah.
It was definitely just Toni Storm right now is killing it. I love how she's like the glam girl, but she's a mess. Like makeup, the lipstick smeared, like she looks a mess. And she's just so, like at one point in time, and at the beginning of the match, the ref held out his hands to like, I think just like ask if she was good or something. And she was like, oh, thank you. And like, held his hands. Like she's just, and then at one point, cause she wrestled Sky Blue on Dynamite this week. And it was just, I think all that Sky Blue did one move to her and and Toni Storm was like, are you kidding me? Are you serious? Like, it was just, I don't know. She is just doing such a good job with her current gimmick, and I am here for it.
Yeah.
It's a good thing for a women's division that usually doesn't give us anything.
Yeah.
So I really So what's your number 5?
Well, my number 5, and there's something I forgot to clear up at the beginning of the video. There's not going to be anything from Collision on our list because we didn't get the chance to watch Collision. And plus, Wrestle Dream kind of wrapped up everything from that Collision anyway.
Yeah.
So just fresh start. So if you're noticing a lack of Collision, I'm sure Collision had some good stuff.
Collision typically has like 3 or 4 things on my list.
Yeah.
So yeah, Collision's typically the best wrestling show of the week. It's just such a terrible day. It's on a Saturday, and that's just.
It was on a Saturday with a weekend that had 2 pay-per-view level events. So the Collision got the shaft this week, but it'll be back next week, and I'm sure it'll make its way onto our list like it always does.
There was actually one week where we actually were like, because we had so many likes from Collision, that like we were actually talking like, should we just do Collision as a like in general because there's so many good things.
Yeah.
So it typically has good stuff.
Collision cooks.
Even with CM Punk gone. And I know I didn't like CM Punk, but I'm trying to be unbiased when I say this. I honestly don't notice a difference. It's just him going, right? Yeah. Wouldn't you agree with that one?
Yeah, I would say so.
Because I know that I might not be the best person to ask about that post CM Punk's removal, but I don't feel like it's really changed it.
Well, I know there's people that are apprehensive because, like, now the Bucks have appeared on Collision. They're like, the Bucks are going to poison it to be like Dynamite. And
they've only been on there, like, what, once, twice?
Something like that.
They're not really on there that much.
Something like that. And it shouldn't be segregated anyway. Like, it
was only segregated before because Punk couldn't be around certain people.
Yeah.
Like, that's literally the only reason why it was separated.
Yeah.
Like,
I agree with that. Yeah. Well, anyway, little spiel about Collision. My number 5 is the Drew McIntyre stuff as well.
Right? It's good stuff.
I like a justified heel. I feel like Drew is 100% justified. I feel like there's a lot of people that could sympathize with Drew. And Drew's just like, you know what? I'm tired of getting involved in people's business. It's done no good for me.
Like, I could see me reacting the same way Drew is. Could you not?
Yeah. As an ancillary side note to this...
what does ancillary mean?
Adjacent. I'll use that instead.
Okay, thank you.
Miz is killing it too.
He is.
So Miz was supposed to have Miz TV with Drew McIntyre again this week. And I even told you, I was like, didn't we do that last week? But it ended up working out. So Drew comes out. Miz comes out and he's mad because he canceled Miz TV. And Miz is all in a tizzy about it.
Because Drew refused to do it again.
And then Drew told Miz to shut up a couple more times. And then Miz had the funniest response that I've ever heard an adult man say to another adult man that's built like Drew McIntyre in this scenario. But I think it was the second or third time he had told Miz to shut up. And the Miz looked at Drew McIntyre. He said it fast.
We had to go back.
We had to go back and watch it again. But I swear to God, this is 100% what he said. There's video clips out of it out there. He looked at Drew and he said, I don't show up, I grow up.
Shut up.
Huh?
I don't shut up.
I don't shut up. I grow up, and when I look at you, I want to throw up. And then he goes, right in Drew McIntyre's face. And I don't know how Drew McIntyre didn't crack. I don't know how the dude had the restraint to not just bust out laughing.
Miz has been killing it here lately.
He's
consistently being somebody that like gives me entertainment every week, and that's what I want in wrestling. Entertain me, and he's doing that.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's doing it in spades. And he's not even like a major title contender. He doesn't even really have a major feud going on.
He's just like an annoying like mosquito that won't go away. He just keeps coming back and bothering you.
Yeah.
Like...
and it's fun. And just him saying that to Drew McIntyre, like Drew's a better man than me for being able to hold his composure during that. Especially if it was like unprompted. That's what I'm really hoping. And I really hope that like they got backstage and Drew was like, "Miss, what the fuck was that?" It killed me. But this whole McIntyre stuff, it's working for me.
It is.
It's putting Drew in a new direction. I think we're setting up Drew to be Rollins' next challenger after Nakamura, and I would not be upset if Drew was the one that took the title.
I don't want Drew to win. I'm starting to enjoy Drew more, but I don't want him to win a title yet. I don't enjoy him that much, especially against my man Seth Rollins.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I'm okay if like I don't know who I'd want to win it.
I don't know. I'm feel so like
picky.
I feel like the world title scene. I feel like Raw is so hard to book for the world title scene because you actively have to keep Cody Rhodes away from Seth Rollins because that is the clear best challenger that Rollins has.
Yes.
But we need to steer clear of that. And they do a good job of teasing it, and then Cody goes off on a detour.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's fun when we get that, but it's got to be so hard to just be like, okay, this is clearly the dude that should be there. This makes all the logic sense in the world, but he can't be because he's got to do this shit.
Yeah.
So we got to keep him busy with it. It's got to be difficult to book. It's got to be. So I can't give him too much shit for that. That's got to be hard to book Cody to not be in the world title feud.
Yeah. Well, my number 5 is honestly just Adam Copeland and Christian being in the ring together on Dynamite.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it was. It was just it was very nostalgic feeling. It was just, and of course Christian's going to Christian, and Adam Copeland wanted to work together. He actually said in his promo or whatever it was that he was just like, I want to finish my career. Oh wait, I want to say, what did his daughter say? Because Adam Copeland asked his daughter, should I retire or what should I do? And she was like, go have fun with Uncle Jay, which is Christian. And Christian comes out, he just listens to Edge talk about how he wants to finish their careers together, he wants to be tag team partners again, it's just the way to go. And Christian just looks at Adam Copeland for a little bit, and then he hugs him, and then he just says, go F yourself.
Yeah.
And then walks away. And I'm like, oh my God, I love Christian.
But he actually said it because they bleeped it out.
Yes.
Like, and I just loved, like, the whole anticipation of that moment was building up, and you were like, I just want to know what Christian has to
Yes.
say. And he did not
Christian's
say
face
anything.
did not change.
No.
He just stared at Adam Copeland the whole
Adam
time.
Copeland had some fun digs. Like, he even told Christian, he's like, you're looking more like a dick than usual. Like,
yes.
and all this stuff. And the fact that, like, it gave me a lot of vibes of whenever they wanted to unite the bloodline and Roman hugged Jay and he was like, no.
Yes.
But I love that Christian took it that step further with not only a no, but a go fuck yourself.
Yes.
Christian Cage is the best heel in wrestling right now. I will not hear anything else.
I do really like Christian Cage as a heel. Like, he is just...
He's just king. He's king shithead.
Like,
is what he is.
Adam Copeland called him out, and I was just in anticipation waiting for his countdown to start. For, like, this, I just wanted to see number 10 pop up, and then his countdown began.
I think it was last week that you and I said that it's pretty much a countdown to entertainment.
Yes, it is. So
it's a countdown to when we know Christian's going to make our list somewhere.
Yes. So
I think there's only been like 1 week he didn't make either one of our lists.
Christian is just so good at his job.
He is. There's so much joy when he's on my screen.
So that was my number 5. What was your number 4?
My number 4 is I love that we've made Dragon Lee a big deal.
Yes, I didn't think to include that.
So Dragon Lee got to wrestle on Raw this week. He wrestled Dominic in a match that was pretty damn good.
Yeah.
And he wrestled Austin Theory on SmackDown in a match that was not quite as good, but still really good, and he won.
Yeah.
He lost Dom, obviously. But I just really liked it, and commentary's done a great job of building up Dragon Lee. Like, they were stressing that Rey Mysterio has said that Dragon Lee is the future of Lucha Libre. And Dragon Lee is excellent.
Yes.
He's so fluid in the ring.
He was.
And I love that WWE recognizes him and recognizes that they have something there that's great.
Yes.
He's going to be extremely marketable. He speaks English. That helps a lot with WWE.
I was going to say, that sounds semi-racist.
That sounds bad coming from me, but in WWE it matters.
Because a lot of the fans don't like if they don't know what they're saying.
But it might not matter as much now because Shinsuke's been doing his promos in Japanese with subtitles.
Very true.
But Dragon Lee won't need to do that. Dragon Lee can speak well enough English that he can get his point across and you understand it pretty well.
Yeah.
I think Dragon Lee has all the tools. I saw somebody on the Reddit thread last night say that WWE's been looking for the next Rey Mysterio for 10 years, and they might have finally found him, and I can't help but agree.
Yeah.
Dragon Lee is that good. If you have not seen Dragon Lee wrestle, it's a treat. We saw him wrestle live when he was part of AEW.
Yeah.
Dragon Lee's a treat, and I love that they are treating him like a big deal, and I can't wait to see what he does.
Agreed. I agree with that one, absolutely.
Yes.
Well, my number 4 was something we already talked about that you just don't know about. I, myself, loved the Roddy Strong and the Kingdom and the Adam Cole video. I loved it. Like, it was just fun because in the beginning, like, Adam Cole comes over to, I'm assuming, Roddy's house. I don't care. Yeah. And the Kingdom's there. Matt Taven and Mike Bennett are there. And, is it Matt Taven?
Yeah, Matt Taven.
Okay. I was like, oh, man, did I
Matt
mess
Taven
up?
and Mike Bennett, yeah.
But...
Where's Maria?
I don't know. I know that, but Roddy gave Adam Cole a scooter because of his broken leg or foot, whatever it is, and they were just, Roddy was in his wheelchair, which I don't even think he needs, and Adam Cole was just on his scooter, and they're just like rolling around Roddy's house, just living life, and then they make Adam Cole rearrange Roddy's living room, which, might I add, I'm pretty sure it looked the exact same when he was done. But they made Adam Cole rearrange things, and he actually has the broken bones, and Roddy's a faker. So, like, it was just, I don't know, I enjoyed it. You had the Kingdom just awkwardly and creepily just petting this...
It was a stuffed giraffe.
A stuffed giraffe, just petting it, and, like... And then it was just, I don't know, I really enjoyed it. It made me laugh. It was weird. They were kind of creepy.
They played it twice because of the audio issues.
Yes. So, I mean, I myself am kind of creepy, which I proved during this today. So, like, I really enjoyed it. It was no MJF and Adam Cole, but it was different, and I really enjoyed it.
Okay.
So, what's your number 3?
My number 3 is despite what I said about Gunther being a better champion than Rollins, number 3 for me is the Nakamura Rollins stuff. I don't think Nakamura is going to win the title, but I appreciate the fact that he's coming across as a threat.
Yeah.
And this feud for...
What's happening there?
I'm good. This feud for with being between 2 B pay-per-views has definitely felt like a Big 4 feud.
Yeah.
Like something that would be ended at SummerSlam, or we'll probably end it at Survivor Series, honestly, because Survivor Series is next month.
Yeah.
I really enjoy the work that Shinsuke's doing. Yes. I feel like Shinsuke is enjoying the work he's doing.
He's knocking out of the park with his heel stuff right now.
Yeah.
Killing it.
Yeah. Like he was doing his count out and stuff. Like he had his video counting down and then he did it himself.
Because it was funny because I was like, that's so funny that he recorded himself counting down. Like I don't know why I liked that.
Yeah.
It's like he just was confident that he was going to get Rollins down. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed it. Oh, we're making an appearance by our bigger kitty, Lexi.
Mm-hmm. So, I'm enjoying the Nakamura Rollins stuff. It's good stuff.
Sweet. Okay. Well, my number 3 is from Dynamite, and this is probably my favorite match of the week. Mm-hmm. And it was Nick Jackson versus Phoenix for the International Championship. Phoenix retained, which I was hoping would happen. Mm-hmm. But it was just a good match. These two have such good chemistry together, but it makes sense because they've wrestled each other many times. Mm-hmm. But they just, I really, really enjoyed that match. Like the crowd enjoyed it. They got a fight forever chant. It was just a really good match.
Yeah, it was a lot
My
of fun.
favorite match of the week, actually.
It was a lot of fun.
Yes.
I think Phoenix is about to get off this ride, though, because for Title Tuesday, on Dynamite next week, Moxley's coming back for his title, and I think he's going to win it because he wasn't supposed to be in the first place.
So, I mean, so it was nice for Phoenix to get this little bit of time to have this title whenever it was an audible that Moxley called. So, yes.
Yeah. My number 2 for this week was, we've already talked about it, was the Adam Copeland Christian stuff.
So good. It was just so nostalgic, wasn't it?
Was.
It just felt like my heart just was happy.
It was so weird to see, it's different. Like it was different watching Moxley interact with all these people and Jericho interact with all these people. Like watching Edge, Adam Copeland do it just feels weird because he just feels like a WWE guy through and through.
But like he said, he just there's people on AEW that he wanted to wrestle also, and he just wants to finish his career with Christian.
Yeah,
they're best friends in real life.
I'm thrilled that he's here, and I hope he finds what he's looking for.
And the people that are so upset that he's there, get over it. It's just wrestling.
Yeah, people change jobs all the time.
Yes,
it's actually recommended that you change jobs now because being loyal to a company doesn't get you much sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, it worked in Edge's favor.
Yeah, it did.
But yeah.
But no, I think it's really cool to see him interact with these people. I'm interested to see what he's doing. And he's going to start with Luchasaurus on Tuesday. Who would have thought, if you had told somebody 6 months ago that Edge was going to wrestle Luchasaurus, they'd have called you crazy.
Yeah.
And especially that it would not happen in a WWE ring.
Yeah.
So,
yes.
I'm interested to see what happens. I love that Christian has started the whole thing off by the very first thing he said to him was "go fuck yourself."
Yes.
So
and Adam Copeland was just kind of like, "I just want to end this together. We're like best friends," and he's just like, "No."
Yeah.
Christian's like, "No, thank you. I'm good."
He looked at his title and he's like, "Nah, I'm good."
Ooh, I just punched Lexi in the mouth.
So I also can't wait for the inevitable time that Christian remembers that Edge's father has passed away.
I know. I was waiting.
Coming.
I felt like that's what he was going to say whenever he went to the top of the entrance ramp, and he was just like, he was like, "Oh, by the way," or something. I was like, "Here it comes," but it wasn't that.
It's gonna be fun to watch these two feud. I think eventually they will join up and team, but I think it's gonna be a fun start.
Yes.
To what they're doing.
Yes.
But that was my number 2.
Okay, well, my number 2, second best favorite thing of the week, was Miz on Raw. I know we've already talked about what he did, what he said. He is just, I'm minus the whole tiny balls thing. I think that's a little too childish for me, I'm very childish, but I don't know.
That's childish, but you could do. Look at you! I throw up.
I don't know. I just don't like the tiny balls thing. That's a little old for me. Like, I get it. You say you have massive balls, Miz, and everybody says you have tiny balls. I get it. It's supposed to be funny. I don't find the humor in it, but he has just been cracking me up though. Other than that, so Miz was my number 2 this week.
Okay.
Miz killed it. Huh, Lexi?
Well, my number 1 for the week. It's time. Let me put on my hypocrite hat. My number 1 this week is everything that SmackDown is building to right now with the end of SmackDown. So, the end of SmackDown looks like a fucking fever dream because you've got Jimmy Uso, Solo Sikoa, JD McDonough, Damian Priest, Finn Balor, Dominic Mysterio, Rhea Ripley, all on one side. And in the ring against them, you have LA Knight, Cody Rhodes, John Cena, and Jey Uso.
It's like all of your favorites. They just need to add in Chad Gable, and you just won't be able to contain yourself.
If Chad Gable showed up, I'd lose it.
And Gunther. Have Gunther pop in there, too. Chris will just be losing his mind.
They literally have their 2 most powerful heel factions in the Judgment Day and the Bloodline against, most likely, their top 4 most over baby faces in the company.
Yeah.
And it's a sight to see. The only person missing from that Seth Rollins, but I think you could easily insert him in as the 5th.
Yeah.
I see all this, and I see a War Games match that I really, really want. I really want this to end in a War Games match.
That would be fun.
Especially if they do it at Survivor Series again next week. That's just next month.
Yeah.
So think about it. Imagine a War Games match where you have, let's see, you have Jimmy, Solo. Let's count them out. Jimmy, Solo.
Let's count now.
Finn, Dom, JD, Damian. That's 6, right? Cody Rhodes, LA Knight, John Cena, Jey Uso, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn. 6-on-6 War Games.
Yeah.
6-on-6 War Games.
I get it, yeah. It's good. It's good shit.
It's good shit.
It's
good. I want it.
Yeah.
Inject it right into my veins. Right there. Inject it.
Oh my.
That's a War Games match that I'd be on board for.
Yeah.
That would
be good.
That would rustle my jimmies. That would be some good stuff. And I think that War Games match would absolutely be insane. And I really think Cody needs to be in a War Games match because it is his dad's match.
Oh,
it's his dad's creation. Put Cody in a War Games.
And he can go hard. He proved that whenever he
Put Cody in
a
War Games match and let it be that one.
Yeah.
6-on-6, crazy shit. It'll be like how AEW does Blood and Guts with 6-on-6. WWE could do that with War Games. 6-on-6, and there's your 6.
I feel like AEW though with these kind of matches has a leg up on it though because they can actually look more brutal. WWE, you can't hurt the children in any way. So, yeah.
The only change I see potentially happening with that setup is John Cena might get subbed out for somebody else, so John Cena can fight Roman Reigns at Survivor Series. But now that I'm thinking about it, fuck it. Put Roman in there, make it 7-on-7, and for your last babyface, you could do... why not? Brock Lesnar in a War Games match.
Oh, gosh.
Why not? Why the hell not?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Oh my, our cats are starting to fight on our table.
They're fighting over the fact of Brock Lesnar in a War Games match. So yeah, all the Judgment Day stuff, I know I poo-pooed on it earlier, and I poo-pooed on the Bloodline feud. But if we're building to a War Games match, I'll strap in and I'll ride it out. I want to see where it goes. So that was my number 1 of the week. I know it's hypocritical because I dumped on Judgment Day at the beginning of the video, but this is just too good to not appreciate.
Yes, it was. My favorite of the week, I feel like has consistently been this person for a while. At least, I don't know. Shinsuke's my number 1. I feel like he was my number 1 last week too, wasn't he? He's always up there. He is just doing such good heel work. I love his promos. I love how they're just, I don't know. I love how he speaks in Japanese and then it's like, I don't know. I love it. Like anything, I feel like Shinsuke can do no wrong in my eyes right now. I am loving it. We already talked about it a lot, but I just really liked it. That was my number 1 pick of the week.
Yeah.
So overall, wrestling was excellent though. It's typically really good.
Yeah, we came off of 2 really good pay-per-view level events with No Mercy, despite the fact that something at No Mercy was undone, but it's in the past.
Let it go.
Wrestle
Be like
Dream was
Elsa and
great.
let it go.
Yeah, Wrestle Dream was great. NXT and Dynamite are going to go to war on Tuesday, so both of those shows are going to go.
Yeah.
They're going to be excellent.
Yeah.
Despite my gripes from earlier, they're both going to be great shows. And I look forward to watching both of them because I think it's stupid to be tribal.
Right. I will say, though, if I had to pick one to watch, I'd probably pick AEW just because I feel like they're the underdog in this situation, and I always like to root for the underdogs.
Yeah.
But, yeah. But either way, I'm pumped to watch both. It's not like I'm picking one over the other. It's just if I had to give one show my viewership, it'd probably be AEW because I know they're going to get smashed.
Yeah, they need it more. Yeah.
So, yes.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yes.
WWE's going to get their views.
Oh, yeah. Just the gong or... Dong or gong?
Gong.
Dong is a dick, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, gong. Just the gong along's gonna get people to watch it, I feel like.
I tell you though, the match I'm looking most forward to on Dynamite with everything that they've announced is Danielson and Swerve.
I know.
I'm so excited for Danielson and Swerve.
I thought it'd be so good.
It's time.
Yes.
It's time to push Swerve to the top.
To the moon.
It's his time.
Yes.
Let Nana dance all the way into the title match. Let's do it. Let's do it.
I am. But I guess to wrap up, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you subscribe, like our videos.
Let us know your favorite stuff in the comments. There was some stuff that I wanted to go over that we didn't. Hobbs is part of Don Callis' family. Let's see where that goes.
Yeah. So let us know your top picks. And it's just our opinions. This isn't like the end-all be-all of list. So let us know your thoughts.
Speak for yourself. I'm kidding.
Let us know your thoughts, though. And we will see you all next week.
Next week.
Later.
Did you like that video? Like, subscribe, and comment to the Figures and Flippy Shit Wrestling Podcast. Ooh,